What is up, down, and sideways? All you beautiful people, League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. I think something happened over the weekend. There might have been some games. Cannot confirm or deny, but, obviously there was madness. But we're going to focus on the Monday games because there's just too many games to get through. It's actions firing all over the place. We had 6 more games on the docket on Monday, and there's been a lot of stomps so far at the World Championship, Mark. But G2, when they're on the Rift, it's always a banger. They had the game of probably the tournament, and might be at the end of the tournament too, against Suning. Didn't quite have that level against Machi, but G2, they're always games to watch.
Always games to watch, always delivering on the excitement. And hey, we've been lucky for a lot of people that people staying up late, people waking up early, looking to get that shot in the morning. Hey, you got the G2 boys coming through, and the way that they're playing, the way those matches have gone, yeah, absolutely. You better be wide awake seeing what's happening over there. Look, the way that they have been playing, what we have been seeing from G2, specifically, I want to mention and give a quick shout out to your boy Mickey in the bot lane. Man, he has been a big time difference maker. We talked about it all year. We talked about it when, when you had a bit of craps in the bot lane, when Perks wasn't quite delivering the performances that he was last year. We talked about, yes, it is on those individual players, but as well, we needed to see a step from Mickey, because Mickey had been providing a level of play last year that was so huge in the way that it allowed players like Caps and Perks to excel, to play aggressively, and then to make those engages for G2 himself. That's what you've been seeing these 2 games so far for G2 eSports. Big time step up from Mickey, but the rest of the team as well playing strong, and they're still drafting to their strengths. So that is something I've loved to see.
Yeah, the Halo Blades, Tom Kench, he's solo in the AD carry. It's not a fun time to go up against. Wonder was also fantastic on this game. His Camille it's almost permaban worthy now against him. He's so damn good on that split push champion. G2, yeah, there were some moments they could have closed it out cleaner, but honestly, is that really the G2 way? Even peak 2019, they were steamrolling through people, but they like having fun. They're taking fights, even if they're ill-advised when they are ahead. They did end up closing against Machi. Maybe Machi's just a little bit better than we thought.
Hey, I said it last week that Team Liquid's got to be careful because they're in danger of dropping one to Machi, and we've already seen Machi come through on that power. And then look, they were looking to make another upset against G2, and they did provide enough power, enough fights in there as well. But you could clearly see the gap between the 2 teams and what G2 was able to get accomplished, and how they were able to, dance around some of these fights and then take the advantageous timing to get what they needed from it and turn it around in their favor. That's what you've been seeing from G2. If there is a little thing to be worried about, a thing that needs to be still cleaned up for G2, it's Jankos' play. I think that is something that still is a point that can be attacked by other teams. And the interesting thing as well, in this Worlds right now, the meta that we have in the jungle is very so far set as far as what is the very top tier champions that you can pick, as far as the Nidalee, the Graves, Evelyn, Hecarim, of that nature. Those are the type of champions that you're looking at. And for Jankos, he needs to provide that level of play. We know that he can play it in solo queue, things of that. And you've seen him do it in the past, play it professional. For this year, for this immediate period, we have not seen that level of proficiency or control on these carry junglers. And that's going to be a big thing for G2 moving forward still, even with the 2-0 start.
Yeah, and it's been the early games, the pre-10, pre-15 minutes where Jankos has struggled. He bounced back later on in the game in Machi and actually looked pretty good. But you're right, 2-0 atop of Group A so far for G2, the champs from EU. The other Group A match, you had Suning versus Team Liquid, and this one was a masterclass in the early game from Suning, from invading Team Liquid's jungle, grabbing the red buff, and then S of M's Nidalee just hovered around bot lane. You felt bad for Tactical and Core JJ because they just were missing wave after wave, and then Juan Fang's Draven was just, it became unstoppable. But you can't do much if your Team Liquid's 2v2. Should Broxa have just come and helped them more earlier?
I think that's the move, right? That's the only way that I can imagine you really find a way to shake up what was happening down there enough that you can try to change up the state, and hopefully it becomes better for you afterwards. But again, I think there was just already so many advantages in on the side of Suning, and then the way that they kept on, again, snowballing those advantages and then pressuring Team Liquid with them. Yeah, there was nothing that was going to change in this matchup. It's unfortunate for Team Liquid to have played the way they did in play-ins and then get into the group that a lot of people thought, and I've been saying, is your easier group. Yes, it is, but we did say that there is no real easy group.
Every group's insane.
Yeah, it's better than what you could have had, but this is still a very tough group to get through, and what you're going to go up against backs up against the wall. As said, they needed the 2-0 against Machi to make things happen. You're not getting that one. And again, dropping a game against Suning, very dangerous. And so far, the worrying trend has been the drafting from Team Liquid, because it has not looked anywhere near close. And it's just putting these players at too much of a disadvantage in the compositions that they're not able to do anything, even if you're forgetting some of these early advantages that teams like Machi and Suning were able to get against them.
I just don't really understand in these games what Team Liquid's waiting for. They're waiting for the right moment. Okay, we barely contest the first 3 dragons. Okay, we'll contest the Ocean Soul. Okay, we're down 8,000 gold. Oh, jeez, we really lost this fight. Okay, we'll fight after they get Elder Dragon. Oh, you know what? Jensen, we'll send you on a one-man mission. Oh, he gets a Miracle Baron steal. Oh, we got 300 gold from that entire Baron power play. We're already down 8,000 gold. Like, what opportunity are they waiting for? It just seems like they're rolling over.
Yeah, and when you're watching some of these ones, sure, you can make the excuse that, okay, you know what? Can't contest. We're just going to give up more kills and the objective. Stay back and farm type of situation. Then we're going to get, maybe I'll have that extra item on them.
You got to fight eventually.
You got to fight eventually. And in those, couple of minutes that you're waiting, it's not that you're outplaying, out farming, out macroing the other side to get those advantages back in your favor to start it's becoming a bigger gap. Yeah, that's the problem, is that you're going, okay, we need to scale. We can fight for the next dragon. But with the next dragon, the gap is even bigger. So how are you supposed to fight for that one when now, again, the pressure is on to stop the soul, and you're already losing more power? That's what I'm seeing as far as them trying to stall out right now. And that, I think, again, a big part is the draft and the way those compositions are. Individually, as far as performance go, you can nitpick some things. And yes, it's been a hotly talked about thing for quite a while, is Brox's pathing and building. I think that is something you can still, if you really want to criticize, look at as well. But for the big things, and you're talking about a positive to maybe look at, let's bring it back to feeling good a little bit. It's been tough, North America. Tactical and Core JJ, they've been okay. They've been more than okay. They've been a bit of a bright spot. They've found ways to edge out their own advantages.
Pretty dim bright spot. You really got to look for it.
But yeah, we're talking about a light bulb that's on its last flicker. It's about to burn out, my man, because there's not a lot going on. And even when you're playing well, even when they get 1 or 2 advantages in their favor, they're getting into these 15, 20-minute team fights, and there's already so far behind in other areas that they can't do anything.
The story of Group B, on the other side, we knew it was the Damwon JDG show, and we had that, boom, head-to-head matchup, and we quickly realized, okay, Damwon, this is just like the LCK. It's just more of the same, as they completely pumped them, and surprisingly, against PSG, it wasn't Rogue, it wasn't JDG. PSG put up the best fight in the early game. They were ahead a couple hundred gold pre-10 minutes, and their game plan was pretty clear. Let's send the entire team top to kill Nuggery, and he didn't get much help from his team. The problem was he kept getting trade kills in 1v3 situations, and Damwon just took the rest of the map.
It was too much. It was absolutely these guys going, and we've heard about Nuggery forever. We know that this guy can play greedy. Let's punish it, put him way behind them. We don't even have to worry about him, and we can handle the rest. Problem is, the rest is obviously something that you do need to handle at some point. But with Nuggery, yeah, turning around these trade kills, my man was getting the straight up Dyrus treatment, but he's going back to base with a little bit of extra gold every time, and the rest of his teammates are
we got 2 turrets also, great. Else.
Yeah, it never mattered. So yeah, as much as I want to praise, and I do want to say that, again, fighting in the higher weight class, getting that push against a team like Damwon was fantastic to see. But come on, PSG, it wasn't enough. My boys, Damwon, rolling through I made the mistake of thinking that JDG are going to provide that firepower early in this group. It has been Damwon. JDG absolutely bouncing back, showing us some of that strength. They haven't quite, I think, shown us the elite level of strength that you want from talking about them and how we've looked at them. But Damwon absolutely delivering. And Nuguri, man, absorbing that pressure, getting those kills and coming back. That's always one of those ones where you see 3-4 enemies, you're like, this sucks. But as soon as you turn around that kill and you got a little bit of that gold and you're walking back to the lane, you're going, these suckers, they wasted their time.
A perfect 3-0 start to the first round robin. Every game, sub 30 minutes for them. And this game, we're just kind of praising PSG. They fought in the early game. We're praising a team that had a 2,000 gold deficit at 15 minutes because that's better than the other two teams in the group.
That's damn impressive against a team like Damwon. And again, the form that they're showing, I don't know if anyone else is going to do much better than that.
I mean, after first round robin, you got to have Damwon right near the top when you're talking about strengths. It's only 3 games in from the group stage, but hey, that's half the group stage. So yeah, Damwon absolutely living up to the hype so far, pretty much across the board. All 5 players have showed up. JDG, they did get a bounce back after their rough game against Damwon. They look good against Rogue. And here's the thing. Rogue, we know they're in an insane group. They're 1-2 now. But what's different from them between Team Liquid or Team Solo Mid is they're going blow for blow. The early game in this JDG match, they were keeping pace. They were exchanging kills. They were even winning in some of these trades. They're not afraid to swing up at the LPL or even at Damwon, which, you know what, that's great to see.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for in these matches a lot of times is regardless of what you want, what your favoritism is or what team, what player you're cheering for. A lot of people just want it to be contested, right? Like, sure, if you have your favorite team, you love them to smash and everything else. You want to be entertained with some good play, some tense moments, things of that nature. That's what you're getting from Rogue, really. They are delivering a lot more than I think the average LEC fan could have expected from Rogue when you saw the way that this group was drafted out. Part of that is JDG not being that, that top tier level of strength quite yet that we were expecting them to be. And absolutely, you're saying that they're going toe-to-toe in these fights. And I think that, look, if Rogue can come away with a couple of little victories here, little victories there, make some changes and get an off performance from JDG next week, I would say that an upset for them is not out of the cards the way that Rogue have been playing. I've been extremely impressed. And yes, this is coming from very low expectations in such a hard group, but absolutely been impressed with the competitiveness that we have seen from Rogue.
I think they've shown enough that in this second half of the round robin, they're still big underdogs, but I could say there's a chance they could beat JDG and maybe get to that second seed, because right now it doesn't look like anybody's beating Damwon in this group. But when JDG and Rogue meet up again, there's a chance you're still favoring JDG, 80-20, 70-30 in that matchup. But Rogue's shown me enough that I wouldn't be shocked if there was that upset. But after the first group of matches, this group's played out pretty much how you'd expect. 3-0 Damwon, 2-1 JDG, 1-2 Rogue, 0-3 PSG. Yep,
yeah,
looks right.
No surprises in Group B, the way that everyone's thinking of it. And if you want to have a little surprise, maybe JDG not showing up quite as much as people would expect. But otherwise, business as usual for Group B, and it's Damwon on top.
I really loved at the end of this Rogue game, JDG. They were all just spamming so many LPL emotes. You had 2018 IG, 2019 FPX, and then they're all flashing TES. But why are you flashing TES for this? You got to flash your own emote, guys. Come on.
Hey, it'd be one thing if it was the 4th seed from the LPL saying, "Hey, yeah, flashing, look at our top seed, yeah, face him." Guys, you're number 2.
The top seed that beat you in finals. No. You got to put your own.
No. Come on. Put some respect on your own name.
But yeah, JDG still looking like legit threats at this tournament. And the LPL LCK difference continues to look like it's a thing at this event. We get to the biggest, the most important match of the entire World Championship so far, because the boys did it, Mark. FlyQuest.
Yeah,
the streak's over. Nobody's beaten NA 6 games in a row.
Boys, we did it. We scaled. We finally hit it. We hit our ornaments. Our boys our NA boys from all the fast food chains. They hit us up with our ornaments. We're ready to go.
And Solo was trying his best to go for that magic number 6 on the Protected, but it was denied. It was a big top diff in this game.
Yeah, there was something in this game. That's all right. Look, I haven't been able to decide if this is nightmare situation for North America that it is. And I mean this with some level of respect to FlyQuest and SeaQuest, but I don't know if it's a nightmare that FlyQuest is the first North American team to pick up a win, or just what has happened so far. Because, man, it has not been pretty. But, big but, wasn't a pretty win also against Unicorns of Love.
Oh, no.
They did it. They did it, though, and that's all that counts, is you got that one win right now. And look, that's all that matters right now in the group, is that you did get that win against Unicorns of Love. You needed that one in order to have any type of chance of pulling off some type of wild 0% upset against a team like DRX. Because look, it's still on the table, boys. It's still there.
No, yeah, easy.
I'm just telling you, it's not happening.
So this game, we talked about Solo, his Redacted. There was a lot of questionable deaths that he had, unnecessary deaths. This was all about Power of Evil. He was the win condition. And you know what? People are saying that Wild Turtle also played well this game. His CSing was fantastic, and he was almost never caught out of position. Maybe there was one fight near the end where he got a little bit too hypey. But PoE on the Syndra was absolutely the win condition. He shut down No Man's in that Syndra-Orianna matchup. And for me, you're looking at the 3 NA teams so far. FlyQuest has, I think, far and away been the best performing, even when you're including that top eSports match, which, yeah, they ended up getting destroyed. But early on, they were actually competitive in it, and just how they've played and they've been willing to go at these teams, it's similar to Rogue, which, again, you haven't seen from TSM or Team Liquid really yet.
Yeah, and look, there's been some positives at least from TSM, but obviously the caveat there's been quite a lot of slip-ups as well, and that's before we can even talk about the draft situation. But when you've watched FlyQuest, what are they supposed to do up against a top esports? What is anyone gonna do against a top esports type of situation? Unless your name is Damwon, I'm not expecting pretty much anything out of any matchup against top esports from what we've seen of these players, and that's not about the level of teams sent to Worlds. That's about what level top esports is at and how that they operate and how that they can play. You saw that, but that said, FlyQuest found ways to punch up, found ways to take fights, to take objectives away, and they stalled out a lot longer than I would have expected in that top series, and it wasn't quite the smash that it looked like it was going to be right from the get-go. So definitely some props in how you lessen that loss. And look, coming away in this Unicorns of Love, they definitely provided a lot higher level of play than we've seen so far from Team Liquid or from TSM.
Yeah, and honestly, they probably had even less expectations out of all the NA teams than Team Liquid, because Team Liquid had the good end to play-ins, and they're in the easier group than FlyQuest. So they've had the least amount of expectations, and maybe that's why we're the least disappointed with them picking up that first win for North America. But of course, all of the hopes and dreams fall in the hope of an EU mid laner for North America. That's just, it wouldn't be NA without that. So Power of Evil guides them to that first win. The last match of the day was that coveted TES versus DRX matchup that everybody was waiting for, Chovy versus Knight. The pick ban had all the spice that you could ever want, with a Nocturne mid going up against Chovy's Twisted Fate. You had Doran playing the Quinn in the counter matchup to Renekton. And the Nocturne, there were moments you could see it was perfect. He goes in 1v4 and ultis and dies immediately, and then he's getting solo kills in one of the side lanes. You had both sides of the coin with that solo lane Nocturne.
Solo lane Nocturne coming through. Didn't expect to see that one coming out at Worlds, but we did get it. And look, yeah, you're right. That is the idea. You're right. You put on that paranoia, you go through there. Not enough coming through enough times for me to warrant that type of pick. But look, you saw what you saw. This was that clash of the Titans that you've been hoping for in Group D. Still, it didn't live it up. It didn't live up to what we were hoping for with this clash of the Titans. And it's unfortunate because Damwon JDG didn't live up to the hype, and this first matchup between Top Esports and DRX didn't quite rev up to the level that you wanted.
And what you had So DRX had a pretty solid early game. Piosik has, I think, exceeded expectations so far at this tournament. He had some great early action, early ganks, but DRX, they had that hovering on a 2K gold lead, and you heard LS talk about it on the cast. DRX, that mid-game macro, they haven't really had. All of 2020, you didn't really see it. Eventually, there was kind of a forced dive in the top lane inner where a couple of DRX members end up dying, and that was more than enough for TES to get back into this game. Yes, you had the ace on the top side of the map. You can call it a mistake by Top Esports or well played by DRX. A little bit of both, I would say. I was excited to see Deft on Draven, but the problem is nobody on the planet plays Senna the way that Jackie Love does. That guy was disgusting in this game.
That's a different champion, my man. We have not seen anyone play Senna to that level, that capability, that damage coming through. Man, we were talking about, maybe a day or two ago looking at, man, Senna hasn't looked quite the same. There was a couple of, a nerf that came through, and the damage just isn't really there. Jackie Love saw that. He's like, man, damage is there. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about, man. I don't know what anyone else. Just use your hands. That's where the damage is coming through.
The confidence.
Senna, we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that in a long time. A Senna dishing out damage quite like that.
Yeah, he almost did 50% of the team's damage, by the way. 49%. And in the interview afterwards, someone asked him, were you worried about the ace, about DRX sitting back in the game? And he said, nah, they already fed me so many kills. I had perfect items. It was over. Talk about confidence, man.
Hey, this is a world champion, a literal world champion. My man, he's got that confidence. He knows that he has got that power, and they dished it out in this one.
And the big thing, this is the first loss that the LCK has had at the tournament. They were a perfect 5-0 coming into this event, and people already talking, is it the return of the LCK? Gen G has looked pretty solid. Obviously, Damwon has looked insane. DRX, if the only loss the LCK is having is to one of the overall tournament favorites, yeah, Korea is looking pretty damn good so far.
Absolutely impressive early performances in the group stage from the LCK representatives. As far as, is this the return? Is this the rebirth of this LCK dominance? Hold up on that right now. Definitely a little early. Different landscape, obviously, with the competitiveness provided from the LEC and the LPL. But as far as the dominance goes, I'm going to wait until we start seeing some of these performances in the best of fives. And I want to see that level of play, that dominance continued. Then we can have these discussions about Korea and the LCK back on top.
Day 4, we got couple doozy matchups.
Oh,
real quick. We'll get your picks on the NA boys. Team Liquid G2 2-0 versus O2 should be an easy routine win for Team Liquid. We also got TSM versus LGD. It's basically TSM's tournament. If they fall 0-3, they're dead.
Yeah, this is. I don't have a lot of faith given what we have seen. There still are absolutely avenues and paths for TSM to come through and get a win. This is the LGD that we're talking about, but unfortunately for them, when we've been talking about this is the LGD, it's been a roller coaster of LGD. We had them at the very top of that peak heading towards this event. You had play-ins dropping them back down, and then the way that they've played against Gen G and Fnatic, they're starting to climb back up a little bit on that roller coaster hill. So if you're TSM, got to be careful of what power they can provide. And again, that's saying that even counting that you have been making your own little mistakes as far as, in-game performance and macro, sure. Major mistakes in the way drafting has gone, and that's going to be absolutely something that I don't got a lot of faith turning around, unfortunately, for this match.
Worlds has just begun. Plenty of more action, so buckle up. It's only going to get crazier. That's it today, though, for League Unlocked. Mark and Eric with you guys. Thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you guys on the Flippity Flop.